I've worked with Kurt for decades. Good friend, neighbor, just around the corner. A little bit of a walk from here. Wonderful man. His books are known all over the world. He's a university professor. Teaches about influence, and we're going to be talking partly about the SAM school, Success and Money School. Sales is part of what we do. Going to learn, earn, and return. All of you need a small business in addition to your other way. You need multiple streams of income. And we're going to be talking about that. So Kurt, take it away. He is the founder of the Influence University. It's very successful, a lot of great books all over the world. And Kurt, take it away.
So let's shift gears a little bit and talk about resistance. Your favorite thing? Well, maybe not, but let's overcome it. Turn the no to yes. Why are people resisting? There's actually 4 R's of resistance we need to talk about. This first one is you need to create a compelling reason where they're excited to do business with you. They want to hear a presentation because you said something in the first 30 seconds that caused them to say, tell me more. Hello and welcome to the 4 R's of resistance. Why are people saying no? Why are people lying to you? My name is Kurt Mortenson. Welcome to this series as we talk about persuasion and influence and what you can do to get more yeses instead of those annoying no's. What I want to spend time on is the 4 R's of resistance. But when somebody says no to you, it's one of these 4 areas. And as you look at your persuasive presentations, you can really figure out why are they saying no. Why do they say no to you? So let's get into the 4 R's of resistance. The first one is you didn't give them a reason to say yes. You didn't give them a reason to like your product or service. The biggest mistake here is the vomit, where you try to vomit 17 reasons why they should do business with you, hoping one sticks, but it has the opposite effect. With reason, we have to look at 3 things. Did you generate an interest? Did you generate a need, or did they have a need, or was there some type of want? Here's a big mistake a lot of people make. When somebody calls you, or somebody emails you, or somebody contacts you, what that means is they already have a reason, and your job as a persuader is to find out what that reason is. If you're contacting them, your job as a persuader is to create a reason. Those are 2 very different calls. My favorite story here is Airman Jones. He's in the Military Induction Center, and his job was to train the new recruits. And whoever just logged in, mute yourself out. We're getting an echo. His job was to train new recruits, and one of the things he had to do was sell military GI insurance. Do you think selling life insurance to an 18-year-old's an easy thing or a hard thing? What do you think? It's hard because 18-year-olds think they're invincible, but 100% of the people in this room bought this GI insurance, which was just unheard of, and so his superior comes to sit in the back, and this is what Airman Jones does. He talks about this insurance, how it's not mandatory, it's a choice, and if they don't have this insurance and something happens in battle, their benefactors get $6,000, but if they do have this insurance and something happens to them, they get $200,000. And then he said, who do you think they're going to send to battle first? Think about it. Okay, think about it. I'm not going to go on the morals or ethics of that, but did Airman Jones create a very compelling reason to buy? And the answer is absolutely. So your goal is to generate that interest that neither want. You're not there to vomit on them. You're there to create a reason. One of the ways to do that is the world famous, you've heard it before, the what's in it for me. Nobody cares about you or why you like your product or service. What's in it for them? And the second part is, why should I care? Those are the things you need to address in the first 30 seconds. What's in it for me? And why should I care? For example, under what's in it for me, just write the word, it's what they want. So under what's in it for me, write want. This is what they want. So if I was persuade you to come to a persuasion seminar, I would say things like, you'll learn how to read people instantly and make people instinctively like and trust you. You'll understand the 4 secret motivators. You'll put the 18 most powerful words to use. Discover persuasion techniques only known by the top 1%. Now that's what people want to learn. That's a what's in it for me. A why should I care is more of a tired of. So what's in it for me is a want. Why should I care is more of a tired of. So if I would say something like, are you tired of not closing sales? Are you tired of employees not listening? Are you tired of being told no, losing the negotiation, not getting your way? You need to incorporate both of those in the very beginning. Because the one thing that you've heard before, and I know you're violating, because I study persuaders all day long, is the world famous feature versus benefit. We've heard it time and time again. You sell the sizzle, not the steak. But what happens here is people list all the features, and sometimes it works. Very few people understand benefit. So between feature and benefit, I'd write the word which means. So your feature, and if you don't know what the benefit is, you know which means. The reason a lot of people don't do this, if I was selling a car and I said it had 400 horsepower, a lot of you are like, so? But some of you could assign a benefit to that. What's a benefit of 400 horsepower? Yeah, outrunning cops. It's fast. It's got some giddy up. So people use the feature technique because a lot of people can assign benefits to it. Let me give you an example. I was doing a secret shopping event to a car dealership, a Cadillac dealership. I do this with a lot of businesses to kind of evaluate their salespeople. And these car salesmen were very old school. So I get on the lot, and someone approaches me and says, what do I got to do to get you in a car today? Now, what do you think? That helps or hurt in the persuasion process? It's pretty old school, isn't it? So I'm like, well, I'm looking for a car. I was very vague. And he's all, well, how about an SUV? I'm like, all right, let's look at the SUVs. We got all these Escalades, he says. So he grabs some keys. And then he starts vomiting, hoping the features that he's vomiting will stick. So he says, and shows me on the key fob, he pushes a button and the car starts up from 100 feet away. He says, we could start the car from 100 feet away. That was the feature. And I'm thinking to myself, who cares? I could turn a key. That does nothing for me. What was the benefit he missed? Yeah, warm it up in the wintertime. Cool it down in the summertime. Didn't even say that. Then he hits another key on the key fob, and the back tailgate lifts up all by itself. And I'm thinking, all right, I can lift it up. It's not that hard. That was the feature. What could be the benefit? Absolutely. If you're carrying something, you have your groceries, something heavy, you push the button, you set it right in the back of the car, that could be a benefit. And then he says, it has over 150 stations. Now, I'm a personal development junkie. I'll never use them. I'll never really care. There's probably no benefit to me. He was just kind of vomiting on me. And then he says, it has heated seats. I'm the type of person that's always hot. And I don't want heated seats. What could have been the benefit if he would have taken the time to get to know me a little better? It could be cold feet, or he could have found out I had a spouse, and my spouse is the opposite. She tends to be cold a lot. Or even better, I love practical jokes. You turn on a heated seat in the summertime, that's a lot of fun. Have you guys tried that one? These people start squirming in their seats. Then he says it has a rear camera. So he puts it in reverse, and the camera comes up. I don't even have to turn my head. So I'm thinking, I can turn my head. That's not a big deal. What could have been the benefit he missed? Oh, yeah, he could have found out I have children. Big SUV, that's a huge safety feature. If he would have asked me the right questions, all he had to would have say, what are the two main things you're looking for in an SUV? I would say, power, pull a boat. Couldn't care about anything else. Now, when I have a camera and he knew I liked boats, what does that mean? You back it in yourself, and it has a big engine. That's all I cared about. Everything else was just a bonus, but he never really talked to me and asked out what I want. So he just started vomiting all these features, hoping the benefits would stick. It's your job to grab their attention. In the first 30 seconds, if you would say something like, if I could show you how, and fill in the blank. If there was a way of, fill in the blank. Or how would you like to save or make? And that's a big one, saving and making money. Have you ever seen, you're painting a picture, you're getting them to visualize. Or you could say something like, well, let me ask you a question. Because when their eyes glaze over and they're bored and they're not listening to you, well, let me ask, can you persuade a person that's not listening? It's very difficult. So when you see that in their eyes, or when you hit a brick wall, you need to have a question. My favorite is, if there was a perfect solution, what would it be? And then just listen. Let me repeat that. If there was a perfect solution, what would it be? Or what would completely solve your challenge? Or say something like, if price were no object, what would be the main benefit? Or what investment fits your budget? Your goal is to grab their attention. So a reason they're saying no is you didn't give them a reason to say yes. You gave yourself reasons, but you're not persuading yourself, you're persuading other people. So you need to look at feature and benefit, and you need to look at those reasons. One thing that you can really implement to help you out here is understanding one of the 12 laws of persuasion, which is the law of scarcity. Sometimes if people feel they have 4 months to make a decision, how long are they going to take? 4 months. You give people 4.5 months to pay their taxes. How long are they going to take? Okay, probably longer. If you don't create urgency, they're not going to make a decision. And people have more emotional feelings from potential loss than potential gain, and things are more valuable when they're scarce or less available. Scarcity, urgency drives people to action, and they tend to resist restrictions. For example, let's take children. You put them in a room of 20 toys. You say, you can play with all these toys except that one. Can't play with that one. But the other 19 you can play with, but don't play with that one. What happens? They approach that toy 3 times faster. You can look at Romeo and Juliet. You can look at Adam and Eve. You can look at Walmart at their after holiday sales. I mean, those aren't humans in those lines. When they think they're not going to get their free DVD or whatever it is, wow, that is interesting human behavior. eBay's the same way. They make more money. You say, I'll pay $20 for that. And then all of a sudden the outbid notice, someone's taking something from you, and you want it more. I remember going on a cruise with my wife. We were going to go to the island of Grenada. We were eating dinner with a bunch of other couples we didn't know, and this one couple says, did you know the island of Grenada was the only country in the whole world where you can get nutmeg syrup? I said, really? Only country? Nutmeg syrup? And we got off the next morning, and what happened? What did we buy? Nutmeg syrup. And guess what I've still never tried? Sitting in my cupboard? Nutmeg syrup. So your goal is to create a compelling reason for them to act now. Because if you don't get them to act now, they're not going to act. So let me give you some examples. Shoe stores. Last one left in your size dramatically increases sales. Hopefully it's true, but they do try that quite a bit. I do want to point out with scarcity and urgency, though, it is the one law of persuasion that's abused and overused. Would you agree with that? It's one of the first ones that when it's not done correctly, we say, yeah, right. And we have to be very careful here. But then on the flip side, if we don't use it, they're going to make a decision. So let me just kind of fine-tune the formula for you. Home Shopping Network does it very, very well. They do 2 things to create scarcity. They have a countdown clock for time, and then they have another counter that shows you how many are left. Doing that dramatically increases their sales. Sale ends today. If you believe it, it works, but a lot of times like, yeah, I'll come back tomorrow and get it. Limit 4 is another one that dramatically increases sales. My wife will send me to the supermarket to get ice cream, and it says limit 4, and I buy 4. She says, why did you buy 4? Well, I don't know, limit 4. I mean, that's what you do. You see this in real estate. If you're showing a home and you say, okay, you come at 1, you come at 1:30, you come at 2, Why is that one of the worst things that you can do? Because there's no urgency. If you get everyone to show up at the same time, how does that change their mindset? Dramatically. Now all of a sudden they're almost more concerned about the other person wanting it. They want it more. That creates incredible scarcity. You see it with Disney. Their DVDs. They sell a lot of DVDs. They'll say, oh, last time this year, last time this century, last time this decade, and if you don't buy it now, it's going back in the Disney vault. Do we believe them? And at first we're kind of skeptical, but we know right now Disney does it. They'll pull it. You cannot find it. And that brings it credibility. A lot of the furniture stores that say going out of business, a lot of the times you don't believe it. But if you believe it, it's powerful. Or on the TV where it says not available in stores. So a lot of times we're thinking, well, I'll just get it into a store. So if you're going to use this the right way, and let me just kind of reiterate this. I know it's abused. I know it's overused. But if you don't use it the right way, then they're not going to make a decision. You haven't given them a reason to make a decision. So ways to do this, deadline, maybe a point of no return, a reason to take action now. And let them know why. Don't just make it up. Let them know why there's a deadline. This offer is good for 3 days because I have some other offers that I have out there. Limited space. This is the last one left in this block, in this city. If you don't do it today, someone else is going to call me at 8 o'clock and pick it up. Or they might lose out. Or restricting their freedom. Any of those things will work. But it has to be believable. It has to be truthful. So give them a reason why your offer is only good for 3 days. Let them know why this is the only one left in this block. So let them know why these homes are selling so fast. Let them know that if they don't join your network marketing business, that they're going to miss out on being on the top. Whatever it is, it works. But again, I know it's been abused. But here's another thing that you can use. This is latest research that'll help you out. Understand with scarcity and urgency, any type of lost opportunity, limited space, hard to find, once in a lifetime, deadlines is all part of that. When you go to a restaurant or a nightclub, they on purpose will create a line that creates scarcity. You can probably get in at any time, but they create a line. I remember I believe it was in Florida, where laundry detergents were hurting the environment, so they passed a law where they can no longer sell laundry detergents that contained phosphates. Phosphates do not help in the cleaning of the clothes. They don't. But when people found out they couldn't buy laundry detergent with phosphates, what do? They go to the other places, other counties to buy these laundry detergents. Here's the key. When you have scarcity, you need to buffer it with some type of reward. This is the biggest piece you can learn today. Have scarcity that's believable and truthful. Buffer that with some type of reward. This is how you do it, and this is what we teach in negotiation also. This offer is good for 4 days. And when you can make a decision within 4 days, I am going to throw in the play sets, the cupboards, and the homeowner's insurance. I need to know this week, because I'm talking to other people. And when you can make a decision this week, I guarantee I'll put 4 people in your downline. Well, the sale does end today. You can make a decision today, I will double your order. This is a huge piece. Latest research that you really need to start to implement. And it kind of buffers the scarcity a little bit. So you're not only taking things away, but you're also giving them things. It's kind of a good package that goes together. Salt and pepper, however you want to do it. Vanilla and chocolate. It's a good package that goes together. So this is what I want you to take away. This is what I want you to work on. You look at everything you're doing, whether it's getting someone to call you back, to make a decision today, to go to a website, to read something, to listen to something. Your job is to create irresistible urgency. But here's your formula. It needs to be something truthful, something believable. Now, just because it's truthful doesn't mean it's believable. We're always truthful. But sometimes the truth is hard to believe. So truthful, believable, and beneficial to them. Don't be making up things that they couldn't care less. Don't make up things that they couldn't care less about. If it's a home and you say, you know what, if you do that, I am going to throw in, I have an extra muffler in my garage, probably wouldn't help them out too much. Truthful, believable, and beneficial. When you do that, then you buffer that with some type of reward. It's proven it works. This is the first R of resistance, creating a compelling reason to buy and creating a reason to buy today, to make a decision today. Implement it and use it, and you'll see a big difference in the amount of yeses you get versus the amount of no's. So part of this, creating that compelling reason, is it had that urgency. Something truthful, something believable, something that you can say to cause them to make a decision. Because if you don't, they never will. And they're going to go do business with someone else that's not going to serve them and help them out. So do the homework, create a compelling reason that you feel comfortable with, that you like, that's believable and truthful, and that will give them a reason to do business with you today.
Thanks, Kurt. And again, you talk about the game of money, the game of business. It's all just a game. And if you know the rules and you know the secrets, the fun part is that now you can see how they're using those things on you. As you watch how people do what they do, you can see how they're doing those things to you. When you go to Disneyland, when you go to the store, when you go to Target, you can see how they do those things. This has been Tom Painter. Thanks for watching. We'll